They said you disappeared like smoke, and silence swallowed your name, and the world moved on without checking if you were breathing or breaking. They whispered that you failed and faded, and that your story ended in embarrassment and dust. They spoke with confidence, because absence looks like defeat to people who never stayed long enough to understand depth. You were counted out not because you were weak, but because you went quiet. You stepped away while they kept talking. You were healing while they kept guessing. You were rebuilding while they kept laughing. And the funny thing is, they mistook your silence for surrender. They mistook your pain for an ending. They mistook your distance for death. But here you stand, breathing heavier, thinking clearer, moving sharper than ever before. You did not vanish. You transformed. You did not lose. You learned. You did not die. You withdrew to return unrecognizable. The world loves to label things it cannot control, and when you stopped feeding their expectations, they buried you with words. Let them believe it. Let them swear you are done. Let them mock what they cannot reach, because nothing shocks the world more than someone who was declared finished, showing up, focused, disciplined, and dangerous with purpose. You are not back for applause. You are back because something inside you refused to rot. You are back because the pain taught you discipline. You are back because the fall trained you for impact. And this time you are not here to explain yourself. You are here to move in silence and let results speak with thunder. When gossip ran faster than truth, you stayed still. When lies grew wings, you stayed grounded. When people celebrated your absence, you learned who never deserved your presence. That season hurt in ways you never spoke out loud. Nights where doubt sat beside you asking if they were right. Days where you questioned your worth because noise can feel like reality when repeated enough times. But you kept going. You trained when nobody watched. You studied when nobody cared. You worked when nobody believed. That is the part they will never understand. While they were busy narrating your downfall, you were building a foundation they could never shake. You learned that peace is power, and privacy is protection. You learned that not everyone deserves access to your growth. You learned that being underestimated is a weapon. They thought you were gone because you stopped reacting. They thought you were broken because you stopped explaining. They thought you were finished because you stopped begging for understanding. But growth is quiet. Strength is silent. And rebirth never asks permission. The same mouths that announced your end will pause when they see your progress. The same eyes that look down will struggle to meet yours. Not because you became arrogant, but because you became undeniable. You do not need revenge. You do not need closure. You do not need their approval. Your consistency will answer every rumor. Your discipline will silence every doubt. Your focus will outgrow every insult. Let them remember the version of you that suffered. You are meeting the future as someone forged by pressure, sharpened by loss, and guided by purpose. There is a strange power in being counted out. It removes distraction. It removes expectation. It removes the need to perform for people who never clap anyway. When they believed you were finished, you were free. Free to fail without an audience. Free to rise without permission. Free to become without commentary. This is the phase where you stop talking and start becoming, where excuses die and standards rise, where comfort feels dangerous and discipline feels like home. You do not chase attention anymore because you know attention fades. You chase alignment. You chase mastery. You chase the quiet confidence that comes from keeping promises to yourself. The world may still doubt you. Let it. Doubt is cheap and discipline is rare. Anyone can talk. Few can endure. Anyone can judge. Few can build. Anyone can assume. Few can show up every day regardless of mood, fear, or memory. You are no longer trying to prove you survived. You are proving you evolved. Every step forward is a reminder that you are not what happened to you. You are what you decided to do after it. And that decision changed everything. If this moment is hitting something deep inside you, then stay with this journey and do not walk it alone. Support this voice by subscribing, because what is coming next is even stronger. Like this message if it feels like your story, because that energy matters. Comment your comeback, even if it is silent, even if it is unfinished, because writing it makes it real. This is not content. This is a movement for the ones who were counted out, buried by rumors and left behind by noise. You are not back to explain why you survived. You are back to remind the world that you were never done. They thought you died publicly. You returned privately stronger, quieter, and unstoppable. They will keep asking questions you will never answer. Why you came back, why you look different, why your eyes carry weight, why your voice sounds calm instead of defensive. They will search for drama, because drama is easier than discipline. They will want explanations because explanations make them feel important, but you owe them nothing. You already paid the price in silence, in doubt, in isolation. You already faced the nights where fear tried to convince you to stay small. You already survived the days where motivation disappeared and only commitment remained. This version of you does not need to be understood. It needs to be respected. And respect does not come from words. It comes from consistency. Every day you show up without announcement, you rewrite the story they invented. Every move you make without noise confuses the ones who needed you to fail to feel comfortable. You are no longer reacting to the past. You are responding to the future. And the future does not ask for permission from people who stayed behind. You learn something most people never do. You learn that pain can either introduce you to yourself or destroy you. You chose introduction. You chose to sit with the discomfort and listen to what it was teaching. You learned where you were weak. You learned where you were careless. You learned who you trusted too easily and who never deserved access. That education was expensive, but priceless. It stripped you of illusions and replaced them with clarity. You stopped chasing validation because you realized validation never builds character. You stopped trying to be liked because being liked never saved anyone at their lowest. You stopped explaining your heart to people who only listened for mistakes. This is the stage where you stop asking why it happened and start using what it gave you. Pain refined you. Loss disciplined you. Silence sharpened you. You did not come back softer. You came back solid. They might laugh and say you disappeared once before. They might say this comeback is temporary. They might wait for you to fall again because it makes them feel safe. Let them wait. You are not in a hurry. You understand timing now. You understand patience. You understand that rushing ruins things meant to last. You are not here to prove them wrong quickly. You are here to build something that cannot be questioned later. Brick by brick, habit by habit, choice by choice. No shortcuts, no excuses, no applause needed, just progress, just growth, just alignment. The kind that survives storms, the kind that does not collapse when opinions change, the kind that stands even when nobody is watching. There is a calm that comes after surviving public doubt, a calm that cannot be faked, a calm that only comes from knowing you faced your worst and lived. You're not afraid of being misunderstood anymore, because misunderstanding no longer controls you. You're not afraid of being alone because solitude taught you strength. You are not afraid of starting over because starting over taught you resilience. You know who you are now. Not the version they talked about, not the version they assumed. The version that stayed when it was hard. The version that kept going without guarantees. The version that chose discipline over comfort when comfort was tempting. That is why this return feels different. It is not loud. It is not rushed. It is steady, and steady wins battles that noise never could. Remember this moment when doubt tries to creep back in. Remember how far you came without support. Remember how many nights you carried yourself. Remember how many times you wanted to quit and did not. Those memories are not scars. They are proof. Proof that you can survive without applause. Proof that you can build without permission. Proof that you can rise after being counted out. You do not need to announce your presence anymore. Your energy will do it for you. Your discipline will introduce you before you speak. Your consistency will walk into rooms before you do. They swore you were finished because it made their world feel predictable. Your return disrupts that comfort. Your growth challenges their excuses. Your focus exposes their laziness, and that discomfort will never be your responsibility. You are not here to make people comfortable. You are here to fulfill what was placed inside you, and that mission does not require approval. It requires courage. It requires patience. It requires the willingness to be misunderstood while staying true. You already proved you can do that, so keep moving quietly. Keep working when nobody is clapping. Keep choosing discipline when motivation fades. Keep protecting your peace even when curiosity surrounds you. Let the rumors stay in the past where they belong. Let the gossip fade into irrelevance. Let your work speak. Let your growth answer. Let your presence remind the world that silence was never your end. It was your preparation. You walk different now because you know what it feels like to be watched while falling and ignored while climbing. That experience changed your posture, your patience, your priorities. You no longer rush to prove yourself because you already know your value was never decided by their opinions. You no longer fear slow progress because slow progress built your discipline. You understand that real power does not announce itself. It arrives quietly and stays long. Every step you take now is intentional. You do not move out of fear anymore. You move out of direction. You are not chasing noise. You are building legacy. And legacy does not care about rumors. Legacy cares about consistency when nobody is paying attention. The memory of being counted out still lives with you, but it no longer hurts the same. It fuels you. It reminds you what happens when you depend on external validation. It reminds you why you protect your space now. You learned that everyone is not meant to go with you into your next chapter. Some people only know how to watch the struggle, not respect the growth, and that is okay. You stopped trying to drag people forward who were comfortable staying behind. You stopped shrinking yourself to fit rooms that never valued your presence. You chose expansion over acceptance, and that choice changed everything. There will be moments when the past tries to whisper again, when old voices try to remind you of who they thought you were, when familiar doubts try to sneak back into your mind. In those moments, you pause and breathe. You remember the work you put in when nobody cared. You remember the discipline you developed when motivation disappeared. You remember the strength you discovered when comfort was no longer an option. Those memories ground you. They keep you steady. They remind you that this version of you was earned, not gifted. You are no longer driven by anger. Anger burns fast and leaves nothing behind. You are driven by purpose. Purpose moves quietly and builds something lasting. You do not want to shock people anymore. You want to outgrow the rooms that doubted you. You want to live in a way that makes your younger self feel safe and proud. You want to create a life where silence feels peaceful, not lonely. And that desire shapes your choices daily. The ones who spread the rumors may never apologize. The ones who doubted you may never admit they were wrong. The ones who laughed may pretend they always believed in you. Let them. Closure is not always an apology. Sometimes closure is growth. Sometimes closure is distance. Sometimes closure is becoming so focused that the past loses its grip. You already closed that chapter by choosing yourself. This return is not about revenge. It is about alignment. It is about finally living in a way that matches your potential. You are no longer surviving. You are building. You are no longer hiding. You are protecting. You are no longer reacting. You are leading. And that shift is permanent. The world may still talk. Let it talk. You have work to do. Stay grounded. Stay disciplined. Stay patient. Remember that silence once saved you. Let it guide you again. You did not come back to explain why you left. You came back to show what happens when someone refuses to stay broken. They said you died publicly. Let them believe it. The version they knew is gone. What returned is stronger, wiser, and here to stay. There is a quiet understanding inside you now that cannot be shaken. You understand that life does not reward noise, it rewards endurance. You understand that attention fades but character compounds. You understand that the strongest people are not the loudest ones, but the ones who keep showing up, even when hope feels thin. That understanding changed how you see everything. You stopped waiting for perfect timing. You stopped waiting for permission. You stopped waiting for someone to believe in you first. You became the proof you were looking for. You also learned how heavy words can be when they are thrown carelessly. You felt how gossip can twist reality and turn imagination into false history. That experience taught you to speak less and observe more, to listen without absorbing, to move without explaining. You are careful with your energy now because you know how draining it is to constantly defend your existence. You are no longer interested in convincing anyone you are worthy. Worthiness is not a debate. It is a decision you make every morning when you choose to respect yourself. Some days you still remember the version of you that was misunderstood and overwhelmed. Not with shame, but with compassion. That version did the best it could with what it knew at the time. That version kept going even when confidence was low. That version survived without applause. You do not erase that past. You honor it, because without it, you would not have this clarity. You would not have this calm. You would not have this hunger to build something real. You are aware now that being underestimated is a strange kind of gift. It removes pressure. It removes expectation. It allows you to grow without interference. While others are busy performing, you are busy preparing. While others are busy talking, you are busy becoming. And when the results appear, they will feel sudden to the outside world. But you will know the truth. You will know it took patience, sacrifice, and relentless self-control. You will know it was never luck. It was labor. This phase of your life is quieter but deeper. You choose fewer words and stronger actions. You choose discipline over drama. You choose peace over popularity. You choose growth over comfort. These choices may not be celebrated immediately. That is fine. You are not building for applause. You are building for stability. You are building for longevity. You are building for a future where you do not have to explain why you survived. If they ask where you went, you do not need to answer. If they ask why you are back, you do not need to explain. Your presence is the explanation. Your consistency is the response. Your growth is the statement. Let your life speak in a language that cannot be argued with. You were never gone. You were preparing. You were never finished. You were evolving. They thought you disappeared because they could no longer access you. They thought you died because the old version of you did. And that is the truth. That version is gone. What remains is focused, grounded, and unshakable. Keep walking forward. Keep protecting your peace. Keep honoring the work you put in when nobody cared. This is not a comeback fueled by noise. This is a return built on discipline, patience, and self-respect. And this time, you are not leaving. This is the moment where everything comes together inside you. Not loudly, not dramatically, but deeply. You realize you no longer need to prove survival because you are living evidence of it. You no longer need to announce strength because it shows in how you carry yourself. You no longer need to fight every misunderstanding because peace matters more than being right. The world can keep its opinions. You have direction, and direction is stronger than approval. You understand now that being declared finished was never the end of your story. It was the turning point. It was the pressure that forced you to grow roots instead of chasing attention. It was the silence that taught you to listen to yourself instead of the crowd. It was the loneliness that taught you self-trust. You did not lose time. You gained depth. You did not fall behind. You stepped away to build something solid, and that decision saved you. When people see you now, they sense something they cannot name. It is not arrogance. It is not anger. It is certainty. The kind that comes from surviving without support. The kind that comes from choosing discipline when comfort was easier. The kind that comes from staying true when it would have been simpler to quit. That energy cannot be copied. It cannot be faked. It can only be earned. And you earned it the hard way. Let this be the final reminder you carry forward. You do not owe the past an explanation. You do not owe the crowd a performance. You do not owe doubters your energy. All you owe is consistency to yourself. Protect that. Guard your peace. Honor your growth. Stay patient with your process. Because what you are building now is not fragile. It is not temporary. It is not dependent on opinions. It is rooted in who you became when nobody was watching. They can keep saying you disappeared. They can keep believing you were done. They can keep joking about your absence. It does not change the truth. The truth is, you stepped back to step up. You went quiet to get clear. You broke down to build stronger. The version they remember is gone, and it was meant to be. You did not come back to be understood. You came back to be aligned. You did not return to reclaim attention. You returned to reclaim yourself. This is not a moment. This is a foundation. And from here, everything you build will stand taller because it was built by someone who knows what it feels like to be counted out and still choose to rise. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them doubt. You have nothing to prove anymore. You are here. You are steady. You are prepared. And this time, you are not leaving. You know, you've always been the quiet one, the obedient one, the one who takes the hits, keeps smiling, keeps standing. But look at you now, tired, broken, and pretending that you're still whole. They've been pulling your string for so long, you don't even know how to cut them anymore. You've become a puppet to their chaos, and they're just watching, laughing, playing their little games while you're here, trying to piece yourself together. But let me tell you something. They don't deserve your silence. They don't deserve your patience. It's all part of their plan, isn't it? To wear you down, to take from you everything they can, until you're nothing but a shell of your former self. They've done it to you and to others, manipulating, controlling, shaping you into someone who doesn't even recognize themselves anymore. And the worst part? You've let them. You've let them do it for so long that now you don't even know who you are without them. You don't even know if you can break free. But let me tell you, that's exactly what they want. They want you weak. They want you defeated. And above all, they want you to stay quiet, stay obedient, stay in line while they tear everything apart around you. But why should you keep playing their game? Why should you keep following their rules when it's those very rules that have led you to this point? Why should you continue to pretend that everything is fine when you know deep down that it's not? The truth is, you've given everything to them. Your time, your energy, your patience, and your silence. You've given them the power over you, and now look at you. Lost, confused, and broken. The chaos they've created isn't just external. It's inside of you too. It's in the way you feel, the way you think, the way you look at yourself and the world around you. They've taken everything and twisted it, made you believe that this is how it's supposed to be, that this is your place, that you're meant to stay in the background, to keep quiet, to keep playing their game. They made you feel small, insignificant, like nothing you do matters. But that's a lie. That's the chaos they've fed you, the chaos they've instilled in your mind to keep you from realizing your worth, to keep you from realizing that you have the power to end this cycle, to break free from their hold. It's easy to look around and think you're alone in this, to think that everyone else has it all together while you're here struggling to keep your pieces from falling apart. But let me tell you something. They're not better than you. They might have convinced you that they are, that their game is somehow more important, more legitimate, but that's all it is. A game. A game where they get to call the shots, where they get to decide who wins and who loses. But you don't have to play anymore. You've spent so much time trying to be what they wanted you to be that you forgot who you were in the first place. You've been bending over backward, playing their game, following their rules, and it's left you hollow. Do you think they care about you? Do you think they care about your struggles, your pain, your exhaustion? Number. You were never a player in their eyes. You were never a person. You were just a tool, a pawn, something they could use until you had nothing left to give. But now you're tired of being their pawn. Now you're tired of being controlled, of being manipulated, of being silent. But here's the thing. It's not too late. You don't have to keep playing their game. You don't have to keep pretending. You can stop right now. You can stop letting them dictate your every move. Stop letting them pull your strings. The truth is, they're weak. They're weaker than you think. They may seem powerful. They may seem like they have it all figured out, but they don't. They're just people, just like you, and they've built their empire on the foundation of your submission, your silence, and your pain. But if you take that power away from them, if you stop playing by their rules, then they will crumble. It's not just about standing up to them, though. It's about standing up for yourself. It's about taking back what's yours. All those pieces of yourself you've given away over the years, all the parts of you that they've stolen or corrupted. It's time to reclaim them. They don't own you. They never did. They don't control your future. They don't get to decide who you are or what you become. It's time to let the world know who you really are, to let them see the person you've become after all these years of being broken down. Let them see your strength. Let them see your resilience. Let them see that you're done being a pawn in their game. You're done being their puppet, their plaything. You might think you're too far gone, too broken to fight back, but I promise you, you're not. You've always had the power to rise above this, You've always had the strength to fight back, even if you didn't know it. The chaos they created, it's not a prison. It's the fire that can forge you into something stronger than they ever anticipated. This collapse, this chaos they've wrought, is their undoing. Do you know what happens when something collapses? It's not the end. It's the beginning of something new. The ruins they've left behind, they can be your foundation. Everything they've destroyed, it can be rebuilt, not by their hands, but by yours. You can take the pieces of this broken world and reshape them into something that works for you, something that makes you strong again, something that shows the world exactly what they've tried to erase. You are not their puppet. You are not their casualty. You are the storm they never saw coming. You may have been quiet for too long. You may have been patient for too long, but the time for silence is over. The time for submission is over. Now, it's time for them to wonder why everything collapsed. Let them wonder. Let them wonder how their little games, their manipulations, their chaos, all came crumbling down. Let them wonder why their plans fell apart, why their empire of control turned to dust. Because in the end, it wasn't you who collapsed. It was them. So stand up, stand tall, and let them wonder. The noise of the world, the noise they created around you, has always been deafening, hasn't it? The constant buzz, the relentless demands, the pressure, the expectations, and all this noise, all this chaos. It was never meant to empower you. It was never meant to make you stronger, or better, or more capable. It was designed to drown you out, to bury your voice beneath a mountain of distractions, to make you feel insignificant, small, and forgotten. But you didn't forget, did you? No matter how much they tried to make you forget, no matter how much they tried to drown your thoughts, you still remember. You remember the times when you stood tall, when you had the courage to speak your mind, to stand for what was right. You remember the dreams you once had, the ambitions you nurtured, the hope that burned inside of you, even when the world tried to extinguish it. They may have tried to bury that fire, but it's still there, isn't it? You can feel it flickering inside of you, just waiting to blaze once again. What they don't know is that chaos is a double-edged sword. They think they're the ones in control, pulling all the strings, making the rules, setting the traps. But chaos has a way of backfiring. You see, while they think they're using you to their advantage, what they're actually doing is teaching you. They've taught you how to survive. They've taught you how to adapt. And now they've taught you how to fight. Because that's what they've underestimated, isn't it? They've underestimated your resilience. They've underestimated your ability to endure, to persist, to survive the unimaginable. They thought that, after all these years of manipulating you, of keeping you in line, of making you believe that you couldn't stand on your own, they would have broken you completely. But they're wrong. You are not broken, not anymore. They've made the mistake of thinking that because they control the game, they control the outcome. But they forgot one thing. The game is changing. The rules are shifting, and you're no longer playing by their standards. You are rewriting the rules. You are taking the power back. It's not about resisting in a way they expect. It's not about being loud or outwardly defiant. It's about moving in silence, about letting them think they still have control, while you quietly destroy the very foundation they built their empire on. How long do you think they can keep this up? How long do you think they can keep this charade going before the truth catches up with them? They've spent so much time creating chaos, sowing confusion, dividing people, tearing down what could have been something beautiful and strong, that they've forgotten one very important thing. Everything they've built is fragile. It's a house of cards, a hollow shell. And you're the storm that's going to bring it all crashing down. Think about it. They've created chaos, yes, but it's chaos built on lies, built on manipulation, built on the backs of those they've oppressed. They've made people believe that they have power, when in reality, they're just puppets like you, only they don't realize it yet. They don't realize that by exploiting others, by tearing others down to build themselves up, they've created a weakness. And weaknesses, as we know, have a way of revealing themselves. Now, the question isn't whether they will fall. The question is when. When will the facade crumble? When will their empire of lies and chaos implode under its own weight? When will the very foundation they built their power on shake so violently that they won't be able to hide behind their facades any longer? You've seen the cracks, haven't you? You've felt them. You've seen the way the cracks in their story are widening, the way the lies are unraveling. They can no longer control everything the way they once did. They can no longer manipulate every outcome, every player, every move. And it's not because they're losing their power. It's because they never had power to begin with. Their power was never real. It was built on your silence, on your submission, on your compliance. They've tried to convince you that their power is absolute, that their control is unshakable, but that's just part of their game. That's part of the chaos they created to keep you in line, to keep you weak, to keep you from realizing the truth. The truth is, their power is nothing without you. Their empire crumbles when you stop playing their game. Their manipulation has no strength when you break free from it. They built their empire on your compliance, and now, they will watch it fall. The chaos they've created, it's their undoing. It's the very thing that's going to bring their empire to its knees. It's the thing that's going to make them realize that they've never had control. They've never had power. You were the power all along. Do you know what happens when the truth comes crashing down? Do you know what happens when all the lies are exposed for what they truly are? People stop believing in the facade. People stop following the puppet masters. They see them for what they truly are. Weak, desperate, afraid. They see the cracks, they see the instability, and they realize that they've been following a lie. And when that moment comes, when people begin to see the truth, they will look to you. They will look to you, the quiet one, the obedient one, the one who stayed silent for so long, and they will wonder how you survived. They will wonder how you kept going, how you kept fighting, even when it seemed like all hope was lost. They will wonder how you managed to hold on to your sense of self while they tore you apart. And that's when you will rise. That's when you will show them that you are not the puppet they thought you were. That's when you will show them that you are the storm that they never saw coming. And you will let them feel the full force of your power. They may have created the chaos, but it's your chaos now. It's your time to take control. They thought they could use you. They thought they could make you bend to their will. But now they will see that they've underestimated you. They will see that you are not broken. They will see that you are not weak. You are the storm. You are the one they never thought would rise. And when they see that, when they realize who you truly are, they will wonder why everything collapsed. They will wonder why their game fell apart, why their empire crumbled. They will wonder why their chaos led to their own downfall. And the answer will be simple, because it was always meant to collapse. Because chaos, when it is built on lies, when it is built on the suffering and manipulation of others, will always implode. It can never stand. It can never last. And now, you're the one who's going to make sure of it. So let them wonder. Let them wonder why everything collapsed. Let them wonder how it all fell apart. Let them wonder how their own chaos, their own lies, their own manipulation brought them to the very brink of destruction. Because when they wonder, when they finally realize the truth, they will know that you were the reason. You were the storm that tore their world apart. You were the one who fought back, who refused to stay silent, who refused to be controlled. Let them wonder. Let them wonder why everything collapsed. Because it's their chaos and you are the reckoning. Let them wonder. Let them wonder why everything collapsed. But as they wonder, understand that this is the moment you've been preparing for. The moment where you stop being the silent observer and start becoming the force of reckoning. For so long, you've watched from the sidelines, unseen, unheard, as they waged their wars of chaos, played their games of power, and manipulated those around them. They've tried to tell you who you are. They've tried to control your thoughts, your desires, your actions, and your dreams. But now, that silence you kept, now, it's your weapon. It's not just about breaking free from their control. It's about reclaiming everything they've taken from you. You've spent years, maybe decades, walking on eggshells, trying to keep the peace, trying to appease the ones who held the power. You thought if you stayed quiet long enough, if you followed the rules, if you kept your head down and played by their game, you'd somehow survive. But that survival was a lie. It was never about survival. It was about control. They wanted to control your every move, your every thought, your every breath. And the worst part, you let them. You let them because you were too afraid of the consequences of standing up to them. But fear is a tool they've used against you. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of losing everything you've ever known. They know that fear keeps you silent, keeps you small, keeps you obedient. But now, something is shifting inside of you. That fear, it's turning into something else. It's turning into fire. You can feel it. A fire rising inside your chest, slowly but surely, burning away all the doubts, all the insecurities, all the chains they wrapped around you. That fear that once kept you in check is now what fuels your rebellion. You no longer fear the consequences. You no longer fear what might happen if you stand up and speak out. You've realized that the real fear is what happens if you don't. What happens if you continue to let them control your life? They think they have power over you. They think that because they've kept you in the dark, because they've manipulated you, twisted your mind and broken you down, they've won. But they haven't won. You're still here. You're still breathing. You're still standing. And with each breath, with each heartbeat, you are reclaiming what's rightfully yours. The truth is, they never had the power they claimed to have. Power built on manipulation is no power at all. They've built an empire of smoke and mirrors, a world where they control everything you see, everything you hear, everything you believe. But smoke and mirrors always collapse under pressure. They can only hold up for so long before the illusion fades and the truth comes rushing in. And the truth? The truth is that they are nothing without you, without your obedience, without your silence, without your patience. They are weak. They've made you believe that without them, you are nothing. That without their approval, without their permission, you have no place in this world. But that's the biggest lie they've ever told. You were never meant to fit into their world. You were meant to create your own. They've tried to convince you that you need them, that their world is the only way, the only path. But now, as the chaos they've sown begins to spiral out of control, as their empire begins to crumble, you see the truth. They need you. Without you, they have nothing. Without your compliance, your obedience, your silence, they are lost. They are weak. They are nothing. And that is why they fight so hard to keep you under their control. They fight so hard to keep you silent. Because once you break free, once you see that you don't need them, they lose everything. But the collapse is inevitable. The chaos they've created is like a fire spreading, and fires can't be contained forever. Sooner or later, it will burn out of control. They will no longer be able to hide the truth, no longer be able to maintain their control over you. They will no longer be able to play their games. And when that time comes, they will realize that they've lost. They will realize that they've built an empire of chaos, and that chaos is their undoing. What they fail to understand is that chaos is not something you're afraid of. It's not something that makes you small or weak. Chaos is the force that births creation. Chaos is the birthplace of transformation. While they use chaos to destroy, you will use it to rebuild. You will use it to create something stronger, something real, something that will stand when everything else falls. They thought they could keep you quiet. They thought they could keep you small. They thought they could control your every move, your every decision, your every action. But what they didn't account for was the fire inside you. They didn't account for your strength, your resilience, your determination. And now, that fire is rising. Now that fire is pushing you forward, propelling you toward the future you were always meant to have. Let them wonder. Let them wonder why everything collapsed. Because the truth is, they're the architects of their own destruction. They created the chaos. They built the walls. They sowed the seeds of their own downfall. And now, they will pay the price. You see, they wanted to create a world where they could control everything. They wanted to create a world where they were the masters and everyone else was just a pawn in their game. But you're not a pawn. You're not a player in their game. You're the game changer. You are the one who stands outside of their rules, outside of their control, and that terrifies them. They can't control you anymore. They can't use your silence against you anymore. They can't use your obedience against you anymore. They've lost the one thing that gave them power, your submission. And now, they will wonder. They will wonder why everything collapsed. They will wonder why their perfect world of manipulation and control came crashing down around them. They will wonder why they are standing at the edge of their own destruction. The answer is simple. Because they created it. They created this chaos. And now, it's consuming them. They thought they could control you, thought they could manipulate you, thought they could break you down until you were nothing. But they didn't know who they were dealing with. They didn't know the strength inside you, the power waiting to be unleashed. They didn't know that you were the storm, the reckoning, the one who would tear down their empire and watch as it burned to the ground. Now, as the smoke rises from their collapse, you will stand tall, you will stand strong, you will stand as the living proof that they were never in control. They were never the masters. They were never the ones who held the power. You were the one with the power all along. You were the one who would bring it all down. And when they finally realize that, when they finally see that the chaos they created has destroyed them, not you, they will understand one thing. They never stood a chance. Let them wonder. Let them wonder why everything collapsed. Let them wonder why their empire crumbled. Let them wonder why their chaos turned against them. Because in the end, it was always meant to be this way. And when they're left standing in the ruins of their own making, you will be the one who walks away. You will be the one who rises from the ashes. You will be the one who finally understands the power of breaking free from their control, from their manipulation, from their lies, and you will walk away, knowing one simple truth. The collapse was never your fault. It was always theirs. They thought they could break you, didn't they? They thought they could wear you down until you had nothing left, nothing to fight with, nothing to stand on. They thought that if they could push you far enough, you'd cave in, you'd conform, you'd fade into the background and disappear into the void of their manipulation. But what they didn't realize is that you were never the weak one. No, you were the one who endured. You were the one who held on to your essence despite all the storms, despite all the attempts to break you, despite every move they made to strip you of your power. You're still standing, aren't you? You're still here. It's the silence they feared, isn't it? Your silence has always been your strength, because they thought if they could just fill your head with noise, with distractions, with manipulation, they could control you. They thought if they kept your mind spinning, if they kept you in confusion, you wouldn't see the truth. But the truth always finds a way to surface. It always finds a way to pierce through the darkness. And now, as the world around you begins to tremble, as the cracks in their empire grow wider, you see it clearly. You see the truth. They never held the power. The power was never in their hands. It was always yours. They used your strength, your patience, your obedience to build their empire. They used your silence to control the narrative, to keep you in line, to make you think that you were nothing. But now you realize what they've been trying to hide from you. The truth is that they were always dependent on you. Without you, they are nothing. Without your energy, your compliance, your willingness to stay quiet, they have no foundation. The collapse isn't happening because of your weakness. No, it's happening because of your strength. The moment you decided you would no longer bend to their will, the moment you decided to reclaim your voice, your power, your truth, that's when everything began to fall apart. They didn't anticipate this. They didn't anticipate your rise. They thought they could control you, break you, mold you into what they needed you to be. But instead, you've become something greater. You've become a force they can't comprehend, a force that won't be stopped. You are the storm now. You are the chaos they've created. But this time, it's not their chaos. It's your chaos, and it's a chaos they can't control. The irony is staggering. They built their empire on manipulation, on lies, on keeping you silent and small, thinking that they were in control. But the reality is that they were never in control. They were simply using you as their foundation. And once that foundation begins to crumble, the whole structure comes down. Now, as they scramble, as they try to patch up the holes in their crumbling world, you stand firm. You stand unshaken. And while they run around trying to hold on to their power, you can't help but see the fragility of it all. They never knew what true power was. They thought it was in control, in manipulation, in keeping people beneath their thumb. But true power, real power, lies in the ability to rise above the chaos they create. It lies in the strength to break free from their grip, to take back what is yours, to rebuild when everything else falls apart. And they won't understand it, will they? They won't understand how you found the strength to rise, how you found the courage to speak out, how you found the power to shatter their illusions. They thought they knew you, thought they understood your limits, but they didn't know the half of it. They didn't know that you were capable of something much greater than they could ever fathom. They didn't know that the fire inside you could never be extinguished. And now, as they try to make sense of the wreckage they've created, they will realize too late that they've underestimated you. Too late to fix the damage, too late to mend what's broken. The collapse is not just the end of their empire, it's the birth of your own. They thought their chaos would keep you subdued. They thought their manipulation would break you down until you were nothing. But in the midst of their collapse, you are rising. You are building. You are creating something real, something strong, something that will stand when everything else falls apart. And as their empire crumbles to the ground, as their foundation shatters beneath their feet, they will look up and see what they never expected. You, standing tall, standing strong, standing as the proof that their chaos has only made you stronger. You don't need their approval anymore. You don't need their validation. You don't need their permission to be who you are, to become what you were always meant to be. They spent so much time convincing you that you were small, that you were nothing, that you needed them to survive. But in reality, they were the ones who needed you. They were the ones who relied on your silence, on your compliance, on your patience. And now, as their empire collapses, they will realize that their power was never real. It was just a shadow, a lie built on the backs of those they manipulated. Let them wonder why everything collapsed. Let them wonder how it all went wrong. Let them wonder why their perfect world of control and manipulation crumbled to dust. Let them wonder why their empire, built on lies and chaos, could never stand the test of time. Because the truth is simple. They created their own downfall. They sowed the seeds of their own destruction. They thought they could manipulate the world, manipulate you, bend everything to their will. But in the end, it was their manipulation, their lies, their chaos that brought them to their knees. And you will rise. You will rise because you are stronger than they ever realized. You will rise because you have found your power, your voice, your truth. And when you rise, when you reclaim everything they tried to take from you, you will stand as a testament to the fact that chaos doesn't have to be destructive. Chaos, when harnessed, can be the very force that rebuilds, that empowers, that creates. And as their empire burns, as their world crumbles, you will stand tall, knowing that the collapse was always inevitable. It was their doing. And you were always meant to be the one to bring it down. Let them wonder. Let them wonder why everything collapsed. Let them wonder why their empire fell apart. Let them wonder how it all unraveled so quickly, so decisively, so completely. Because in the end, it was never about them. It was always about you. It was always about your strength, your resilience, your power. And when they look back, when they realize who you truly are, when they understand the magnitude of your rise, they will know one thing for certain: they never stood a chance. That community that has been circling around you, throwing doubts, judgments, whispers, and cold stares, they have been trying to dim your light, yet they do not realize that every attack, every word spoken in malice, every effort to push you down, is shaping a stage for your rise. They do not see that the more they push, the higher you ascend. The more they doubt, the more you are chosen. TMH has placed his hand upon you in ways they cannot comprehend. You have been anointed not because you asked for it, not because you begged for attention, not because the world was ready, but because the divine does not wait for permission. You are walking in destiny that was written long before their opinions, their ridicule, their fear could touch you. And today, the world, starting with that community that has tried to contain you, is being forced to witness something it has never seen before. It begins with a stillness within, the quiet whispers of your spirit that no one hears, the late nights when your heart is heavy and your mind wrestles with doubt. These moments are the proving grounds of your anointing. Each tear that falls, each sleepless night, each battle within yourself is evidence that the hand of TMH is on you. They see the surface. They see what they want to believe, that you are fragile, that you will break, that you will settle. But they do not see the unseen. They do not see the moments when you pray with your entire being, the moments when you make sacrifices silently, the moments when you rise even when the world is trying to chain you. They cannot see what the divine sees. They cannot perceive the power that is forming within you. There is a certain beauty in being misunderstood, in being judged, in being resisted. For what is resistance but proof that you are moving toward a territory they cannot enter? for what is opposition but confirmation that you are walking a path reserved for the chosen. Every time they speak, it is a reminder of your uniqueness. Every time they try to define you, it is a confirmation that you cannot be defined. Every attempt to stop you is a declaration that what you carry is not ordinary. TMH is not a respecter of human opinion. He is a magnifier of destiny. He does not just lift you above the crowd. He positions you in a place where your rise is undeniable, where your presence becomes unavoidable, where even those who doubted cannot look away. You may feel weary. You may feel drained. The attacks may have made you question your value, made you second-guess your purpose, made you wonder if the journey is too heavy to carry. But in those moments of despair, you must remember that your endurance is your evidence. Your persistence is your witness. The very fact that you continue, that you rise after every fall, that you keep walking when the world has built walls in your path, is proof that TMH is training you, strengthening you, marking you for something greater than comfort, greater than acceptance, greater than human recognition. You are being prepared for a stage so high that those who try to diminish you will have no choice but to acknowledge the light that was in you all along. It is easy to be swayed by the noise of the world. It is easy to let their words, their laughter, their assumptions make you shrink. But let me remind you, those who attack you are not seeing your full reflection. They are seeing a shadow of doubt projected by their own limitations. They cannot see your clarity because their eyes are clouded by fear. They cannot feel your power because they are tethered to disbelief. But you are untouchable in your anointing. You are shielded by a force greater than human understanding. You are moving in a favor that no weapon formed against you can withstand, a wisdom that no argument can overturn, a presence that cannot be silenced. And that is why, when the time comes, they will be forced to see it. They will be forced to witness the manifestation of a calling that was beyond their comprehension. Think about the moments they laughed at your dreams, the times they mocked your vision, the nights they whispered that you would never rise. Every one of those moments is now fuel. Every doubt, every insult, every cold shoulder is now fuel for your ascent. They have built walls, and yet every wall is teaching you the art of breaking through. Every obstacle is training you in resilience. Every scorn is engraving a strength into your soul that no cheer, no comfort, no false praise could ever give. TMH is not making you strong in a way that the world understands. He is making you unstoppable in a way that the world cannot ignore. Do not mistake this anointing for popularity, for applause, or for immediate recognition. Anointing is deeper than approval. It is invisible until it becomes undeniable. It is a fire that burns quietly until it becomes a blaze. It is a seed planted in soil too rich for human vision, and it grows in ways that defy logic, that challenge expectation, that make the impossible inevitable. And the community that thought they could stop you will find themselves staring at a force they cannot question, a presence they cannot diminish, a journey they cannot derail. TMH does not create delays by mistake. He does not allow opposition without reason. Everything has a timeline, and your timeline is unstoppable. If you are listening to this, I want you to take a deep breath and understand the truth. What they say about you, what they attempt to control about you, cannot alter what TMH has ordained. Your value, your purpose, your destiny is untouched by their disbelief. They cannot corrupt it, they cannot weaken it, and they cannot steal it. What they try to take from you is already protected, already invested, already destined to manifest. They are witnesses in training, being forced to see the anointing that they ignored. And while their eyes were closed, You were rising quietly, unseen, unshaken, undefeated. I know some of you watching right now feel the weight of loneliness. I know you feel the ache of being surrounded by people who cannot celebrate your wins, who cannot understand your moves, who cannot see the divine favor on you. But here is the secret. TMH has placed you where you belong, even if no one else can see it yet. And when the world finally catches a glimpse of your ascent, it will not be because of them opening their eyes willingly. It will be because the hand of God has moved on your life in ways too spectacular for denial. They will not have a choice but to recognize your path. They will not be able to dispute the power you carry. They will not be able to unsee what has been forged in you through trials, through prayers, through perseverance. Now, I want to pause for a moment and speak to those who feel discouraged about sharing their journey. If you have been inspired by this message, if your spirit is waking up to the power that has always been inside you, then take a moment to engage. Hit that like button, leave a comment below, share your story, and subscribe for more messages that lift, challenge, and remind you of the anointing you carry. Your engagement is not just a click, it is a declaration that you are aligned with destiny, that you are refusing to hide, that you are standing in truth while the world tries to whisper doubt. Your words may ignite someone else who feels unseen, unheard, underestimated, and this ripple cannot be stopped. And for those who are already walking the path of resistance, remember this: do not be discouraged by those who fail to recognize your power. TMH sees your every step. He acknowledges your courage. He magnifies your efforts. When they mock, when they doubt, when they try to control or belittle, remember that every reaction from them is a reflection of your elevation. Keep moving, keep trusting, keep standing. Because the day comes when your life becomes a testimony too vivid to ignore, a display too powerful to deny, and a reality too undeniable for any opposition to contain. You may not realize it yet, but every challenge you face, every moment of resistance, every hand that pushes you down is preparing you for a level of power and influence you cannot yet imagine. There is a strange beauty in this struggle because it is proving to you and to the world that what they thought could break you will only make you stronger. They see weakness, they see struggle, they see moments when you hesitate, and yet they cannot see the quiet determination that rises within you, the strength that does not announce itself, the power that moves silently but effectively. TMH is shaping you in ways that defy human measurement, planting a fire in your soul that no ridicule, no attack, no doubt can ever extinguish. Some days, it may feel as if the world itself is against you. The community that surrounds you may appear relentless, as if their collective energy is designed solely to stop your progress, to make you question every decision, to make you feel small and unworthy. And yet, this is the very thing that confirms your anointing. For the divine does not anoint the ordinary. He does not place the hand of power on those whose path is easy, whose journey is accepted without question. The anointed walk paths of resistance, and in that resistance, they discover a power that cannot be faked, cannot be replicated, cannot be borrowed. Every attack, every attempt to stop you, every moment of judgment is training you, sharpening you, and making your rise inevitable. It is not for them to understand your journey, your vision, or your destiny. Let them whisper, let them doubt, let them judge. Their disbelief does not alter the plan, does not diminish your power, does not weaken your calling. Their attacks are temporary, their resistance is fleeting. Your anointing is eternal. You are moving in a force that no human logic can touch, a force that grows stronger with every attempt to contain it. And while they try to confine you within their narrow vision, of what is possible. TMH is expanding you in ways they cannot perceive, giving you wisdom they cannot grasp, and courage they cannot imagine. There will be moments when you feel invisible, when it seems as though nothing is happening, when the silence of the world is deafening. These are the moments that matter most, for it is in the silence that the divine works most powerfully. It is in the unseen moments that your foundation is laid, your character is forged, and your purpose is clarified. Do not be distracted by the noise of impatience, by the longing for immediate recognition, or by the false approval of those who do not understand your calling. What TMH has placed on you does not require human validation to flourish. It only requires your faith, your persistence, and your refusal to be shaken by temporary opposition. And know this, the community that has tried to stop you will be forced to see what they ignored. They will witness the manifestation of your anointing, not because they were open to seeing it, but because the hand of God will make it impossible to ignore. They will watch you rise in ways they cannot explain, achieve victories they cannot dispute, and walk in favor that they cannot deny. Their disbelief, their doubt, their judgment will be powerless in the face of a life that has been consecrated, chosen, and appointed. And when that day comes, they will not only see your success, they will feel the weight of every word they spoke against you, every attempt they made to limit you, and every disbelief they tried to enforce. It will be undeniable, irrefutable, and permanent. This anointing does not come with guarantees of ease, comfort, or applause. It comes with challenges that test every part of your being, your patience, your courage, your faith, your integrity. And yet, these challenges are proof that you are walking a path reserved for the chosen, a journey that requires strength that ordinary circumstances could never produce. Every difficulty you face, every trial you endure, is evidence that TMH is preparing you for a life of purpose that cannot be replicated. You are being elevated in a way that requires you to grow, to adapt, to refine, and to become more than you ever thought possible. Some of you may feel isolated. You may feel that no one sees your struggle or understands your journey. But remember, you are never truly alone. The presence of TMH is constant. His power is unmatched. His plan for your life is flawless. Every moment of doubt, every whispered attack, every attempt to diminish your worth is a part of the process, a part of the preparation for a rise so dramatic that those who tried to stop you will have no choice but to recognize it. They cannot stop what has been appointed. They cannot reverse what has been anointed. They cannot dim the light that has been set upon you. It is natural to feel the sting of their disbelief, the frustration of their rejection, the pain of their judgment. But let those feelings remind you not of your weakness, but of your strength. For if the world were easily won, if success were simple, if favor came without resistance, then your anointing would have no meaning. It is precisely because of opposition, because of the attempts to hold you down, that your rise will carry weight. Your journey will be a testimony that power, favor, and destiny cannot be stopped when the divine hand moves. Every setback is temporary. Every criticism is fleeting. But the anointing on your life is eternal. I want you to imagine the moment when that community, the ones who doubted you, mocked your dreams, questioned your potential, finally realizes that nothing they did could stop you. Imagine the faces, the expressions, the quiet acknowledgement that you are never to be contained, never to be limited, never to be silenced. This is not a fantasy. It is not a dream. It is a promise. And it is closer than you think. TMH is moving on your behalf, preparing you, positioning you, guiding you, and protecting you. What they tried to prevent is now unstoppable. What they ignored is now unavoidable, and what they doubted is now undeniable. Now take a moment to feel the weight of this truth. You are anointed, you are chosen, you are set apart, and there is no force on earth, no opinion, no whisper, no resistance that can reverse what has been appointed. Let that sink into your soul. Let it ignite a fire in your heart. Let it remind you that everything they have tried to do to stop you has been part of the process of preparing you for greatness, for impact, for influence that cannot be denied. And if this message is resonating with you, I want you to take a small but powerful action. Like, comment, and subscribe. Not because I asked, but because your engagement is an act of declaration. When you comment, you are saying, I recognize my anointing. I refuse to be hidden. I refuse to be silenced. When you subscribe, you are committing to a journey of growth, strength, and perseverance, allowing yourself to be reminded daily that your destiny cannot be stopped. And when you share, you extend this truth to someone else who may feel unseen, unheard, or underestimated. Your action may awaken courage in another soul, and together you become a wave too powerful to ignore. Continue to rise, continue to trust, continue to move, even when the path is hard. Do not let temporary opposition define your reality. TMH is moving. TMH is positioning. TMH is empowering. And the very community that has tried to stop you will be forced to acknowledge what they once dismissed. They will have no choice but to witness the magnitude of what has been placed in your hands. And in that moment, it will not be about revenge or proof. It will be about recognition of the truth that was always present, a truth that their disbelief could never erase. There will come a day that begins like any other, yet ends with a truth so undeniable that the world around you cannot ignore it. The community that has tried to contain you, that has whispered their doubts, that has underestimated you at every turn, will have no choice but to acknowledge what TMH has placed in your life. They will witness your strength, not because they suddenly believed in you, but because the divine power upon your life cannot be hidden, cannot be delayed, cannot be silenced. Every step you take, every victory you achieve, every moment you rise despite opposition will serve as undeniable evidence of the favor, the guidance, and the anointing that rests upon you. The journey has not been easy, and it will not be easy. Those who have tried to stop you will continue to test you, to doubt you, to push against you. But remember this, every test, every challenge, every attempt to hold you down is a confirmation of your purpose. TMH does not allow opposition without reason. Every trial is strategic. Every resistance is deliberate. Every obstacle is designed to mold you, to prepare you, to strengthen you, and to elevate you. What feels like struggle is actually strategy. What feels like attack is actually instruction. What feels like delay is actually preparation for a rise so monumental that disbelief cannot stand in its way. Understand that your anointing is not dependent on applause, on approval, or on recognition from those who cannot see your worth. It is dependent on faith, persistence, and alignment with the force that moves invisibly yet powerfully in your life. The hand of TMH upon you is not casual. It is not superficial. It is not fleeting. It is enduring. It is intentional. It is unwavering. And because of this, nothing, no one, no attack, no whisper, no force can alter what has been ordained. Even when the world looks like it is winning, even when the community that tried to stop you seems stronger, even when the doubts within yourself rise to the surface, remember this. You are chosen, you are set apart, and you are unstoppable. Your rise will not be immediate, nor will it always be visible. It will often be silent, subtle, hidden from the eyes of those who judge. Yet every step will be advancing you closer to your destiny. They may mock, they may scoff, they may even despair in their attempts to hold you back, but every effort they make is simply another confirmation of the inevitability of your success. Opposition, resistance, and disbelief are the shadows that define the light you carry. The greater the darkness, the brighter the anointing will shine. And when that light bursts forth, it will be undeniable, overwhelming, and transformative, not only for you, but for all who witness it. Do not let impatience or frustration cloud your vision. Do not let their disbelief plant seeds of doubt within your soul. Every moment is part of a divine timing that is orchestrated far beyond human understanding. You are moving in a timeline that cannot be rushed, a destiny that cannot be delayed, a favor that cannot be withdrawn. The community that has tried to stop you will eventually see it, not because they change, but because the power upon your life will not allow them to remain blind. What was once invisible to them will become unavoidable. What was once dismissed will become undeniable. What was once doubted will become a truth they cannot escape. Every challenge you face now is a preparation for the moment of witnessing. Every whispered doubt, every judgmental glance, every attempt to stop you is a rehearsal for the undeniable demonstration of your anointing. They will be forced to see it, forced to acknowledge it, forced to reckon with it, because the force moving through you is unstoppable, because the hand of TMH does not fail, because your destiny cannot be denied. And in that moment, their disbelief will be meaningless, their opposition will be powerless, and their resistance will be irrelevant. Ladies and gentlemen, gather around, because today we're going to talk about something they never saw coming. Something so profoundly chilling that even the most twisted of minds would be taken aback. You see, they thought disrespect was their weapon, their tool to wield power, their way to chip away at who you are, who you could be, and who you had the potential to become. They thought you were just another casualty in their battle to assert dominance, a pawn in a game they believed was theirs to win. But they were wrong. So wrong. They never realized that every word they spoke in disdain, every look of judgment, every slide and cut to your spirit, every effort they made to break you, was not a step toward victory for them, but a step toward their ultimate defeat. They thought they could control you, manipulate you, belittle you, and that you would cower under their power. They believed that in making you feel small, they could make themselves feel tall. But they never understood the power of silence. For silence, my friends, is not a weakness. It is a weapon far more dangerous than words, more cutting than insults, and more chilling than any act of aggression. The silence you now carry with you, the one they pushed you into, is the quiet before the storm. It is a silence they will never understand, because they have mistaken it for something they can break. They've been reckless with their words, blind to the consequences of their actions. And now, in the cold, unyielding quiet, they will find their mistake. What they failed to see, and perhaps never will, is that silence is a reflection of your power, not your passivity. It's a deliberate, calculated decision. It's the calm after the storm, the moment you gather yourself and decide, for once and for all, that their disrespect does not deserve a response. It is a response in itself, a declaration that you are not bound by their opinions, their criticisms, or their need to drag you down to their level. When they disrespected you, they thought they were imposing their superiority over you, diminishing your worth, and making you doubt your own existence. But what they never accounted for was your strength, the strength that is born not out of loud proclamations, but in the quiet resolve of knowing your value, of standing in your truth, and of refusing to let anyone define you. They didn't realize that their words were simply the catalyst for your metamorphosis, pushing you into the silence where your power thrives. Now, in this silence, you are free. Free from their opinions, free from their judgments, free from the toxic noise of their manipulation. They have no power over you anymore, for you've taken that power back. And while they may wonder why you no longer engage with them, why you no longer react, they will never fully comprehend that it is not because you've given up. It is because you've chosen to rise above. They thought your silence was defeat, but in truth, it was your victory. They thought it was weakness, but in reality, it was your strength. Because you see, the silence you've chosen is not passive. It is not a retreat into a dark corner, a surrender to their cruelty. No, it is a retreat into your own mind, a sanctuary of self-respect, a safe space where you are not subject to their whims. It is the moment you have removed yourself from their chaotic, judgmental world, the moment you decided you would not engage with their negativity any longer. They thought they were breaking you, but what they never understood was that they were only forcing you to rebuild yourself. And now, as you stand in your silence, you stand in your power. They failed to break you. They failed to even make a dent in your armor. They've done nothing but illuminate their own insecurities, their own fears, and their own lack of understanding. They thought disrespecting you would make you crumble, but instead, it made you rise higher. Higher than they ever imagined you could go. Higher than they ever wanted you to go. They thought they could steal your voice, but all they did was give you the space to find your own. You no longer need their approval, their validation, or their recognition. You know who you are. You know what you stand for. You know the worth that they could never see, the depth of your strength they could never comprehend. Their insults, their jeers, their slights, none of it matters anymore because it no longer has the power to affect you. The only thing that matters is your peace, your sense of self, and the quiet strength you've cultivated within. Now, they are left in their own confusion, their own frustration. They were expecting a response, a fight, a challenge. They wanted you to come down to their level, to engage in their petty games, but you did not. You refused to be a part of their drama, their toxic cycles, and now they wonder why you no longer speak, why you no longer play the role they had assigned to you in their twisted narrative. They will never understand that your silence is your power, that your silence is your statement, and that in their inability to provoke you, they have revealed their own weakness. They've exposed the truth of who they are, small, insecure, fragile, and desperate for control. But they will never see the truth of who you are. They will never see the quiet warrior, the person who, though silent, is stronger than they ever were. They will never realize that their disrespect has only served to sharpen your resolve. It has only made you more determined to keep your peace, to guard your energy, and to rise above the noise. The silence you've embraced is not a void. It is a powerful force. It is the space where you have reclaimed your self-worth, where you have built your boundaries, and where you have rediscovered your own sense of purpose. It is the moment where you have let go of their need to define you and embraced your own ability to define yourself. And in that space, you are unbreakable. You are unstoppable. You are your own force to be reckoned with. They thought they could push you, prod you, provoke you, and that eventually you would break. But you never did. You just got stronger, more focused, more determined. And now, they are left with nothing but the silence they never understood. And in that silence, you have won. You have taken back everything they tried to take from you and more. They thought they could leave you in despair, but all they did was give you the strength to silence their voices and the freedom to move forward without them. So let them wonder, let them question, let them try to make sense of your silence, because the truth is, they will never understand it. They will never understand that disrespecting you only led them to your permanent silence, a silence that speaks louder than any word ever could. And in that silence, you have found your peace. In that silence, you have found your strength. In that silence, you have found yourself. The silence they never saw coming has become your greatest triumph. It is the final word in a battle they never understood. It is the victory they will never claim, because they never realized that silence is not absence. It is presence. It is power. And now, as they stand in the empty space they created with their disrespect, they are forced to face the truth they will never be able to ignore. The truth that you are beyond their reach, beyond their control, and beyond their understanding. And that, my friends, is the power of silence. You see, when they disrespected you, they thought it would break you. They thought their actions, words, and manipulation could shatter your spirit, like glass dropped on concrete. But they had no idea that you were forged from something stronger. You were not fragile, not brittle. Your silence is not a void of weakness, but rather a force of composure and clarity. Every time they pushed you, every time they tried to knock you down, you only stood firmer, more resolute in your understanding of who you are and who you were becoming. They thought they could wear you down, but they didn't understand that you were never meant to be worn down. You were meant to be refined, tempered, like steel in a forge. They didn't see that each moment of disrespect, each time they tried to tear you down, you were only growing stronger. You were only learning to protect yourself. You were learning how to close off from the toxicity, how to put up walls that would not make you hard, but rather create boundaries. Because you see, silence is not just the absence of sound. It's the presence of something far more significant. It's the presence of self-preservation, of boundaries that protect what is sacred, what is vulnerable, what is untouchable in you. The moment they disrespected you, they crossed a line. And instead of breaking, you retreated into that silence, into that protective space where you could rebuild, refocus, and strengthen yourself. And the beauty of that silence, the true power of it, is that it requires no validation. You don't need anyone's permission to be silent, to choose your peace. They never thought you would have the willpower to step away from the chaos they created. They thought you would react, you would lash out, you would fight back with fire, anger, and revenge. But no, you didn't. You simply chose to protect your energy, to protect your peace, and to stop engaging in their petty game. They didn't realize that by trying to control you, by attempting to provoke you, they were only empowering you. Their disrespect forced you to see just how much you could endure, how much strength you had within, and that strength grew in ways they could never have anticipated. The silence you carry now is not just the absence of noise. It is a reflection of your sovereignty. It is the acknowledgement that you are no longer beholden to anyone else's opinion or approval. You stand alone, powerful in your solitude, because you have learned that true strength is not in the noise, not in the endless back and forth, not in the toxic drama. True strength lies in knowing when to step away, knowing when to retreat, and knowing when to stop giving your power away. You have recognized that the most powerful response you can give them is nothing at all. You are silent because you know the truth, and the truth needs no defense. The truth of who you are, who you've become, is evident in the fact that you no longer seek validation from those who would never understand your worth. You don't need them. You never needed them. They thought that by disrespecting you, they could somehow reduce your value, but in reality, they only made it more evident to you. The fact that they tried to break you, the fact that they thought you would crumble, is proof of just how weak their understanding of strength really is. They thought they were cutting you down, but all they did was expose their own inability to recognize true power. Power isn't about being loud, being dominant, or putting others down. True power is quiet, it's composed, and it's centered in self-understanding. True power is knowing exactly who you are and who you aren't, and standing firm in that truth, no matter what anyone else tries to say. They thought their disrespect was a weapon, a way to keep you in line. But weapons only have power if you allow them to. The moment you decided to silence their voices in your life, you took the power back. You were no longer a victim of their words, their actions, or their manipulation. You became the author of your own story, and you chose silence as your weapon, as your shield. And in that silence, you found your voice. Not the voice they tried to take from you, not the voice that would respond to their petty games, but the voice that speaks with clarity and purpose. The voice that speaks when you choose to speak and remains silent when you know that silence is the answer. Now they wonder, don't they? They wonder why you no longer react. They wonder why you no longer engage. They thought they could drag you down to their level and play their game. But what they never understood is that you don't have to play by their rules. You've set your own rules. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them an emotional outburst, a dramatic response. You don't owe them anything. You owe it to yourself to stay true to who you are, to preserve your peace, and to stand in your own power, silently, unshakably. The truth is, the disrespect they showed you was not a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of theirs. It was their way of projecting their insecurities, their fears, and their inadequacies onto you. But you are no longer a mirror to their faults. You are a mirror to your own strength, your own growth, and your own evolution. They thought they could make you doubt yourself, make you feel less than. But the only thing they succeeded in was making you realize how much more powerful, more grounded, and more resilient you are than they ever imagined. And so now, in this silence, you are not empty. You are full. Full of your own potential, full of your own purpose, and full of your own truth. The silence you carry is a reflection of your growth, of your ability to let go of the noise and focus on what truly matters. It is a declaration that you will no longer allow the toxicity of others to define you. You have chosen peace. You have chosen to take control of your energy and protect it from those who would seek to drain it. You have chosen silence as your sanctuary. They may never understand this, and frankly, they don't need to. The silence you've created in your life isn't for them, it's for you. It's a space where you can breathe, where you can heal, where you can rebuild your soul without the noise of their cruelty echoing in your mind. It is a space where you can reflect on your worth, rediscover your strength, and move forward without the weight of their disrespect hanging over you. And it is in that silence, that space of inner peace, where you will continue to grow, continue to rise, and continue to evolve into the person they never wanted you to become. Their disrespect was nothing more than the catalyst that pushed you to your greatness. They never realized that by disrespecting you, they were setting the stage for your transformation. They thought they could break you, but they never knew they were only making you more powerful, more resilient, and more determined to succeed. They thought they were stealing your voice, but in truth, they only gave you the space to find it, to strengthen it, and to make it more formidable than ever. Now, as you continue on your journey, don't look back. Don't waste another thought on those who tried to disrespect you, who tried to tear you down. They are insignificant in your story now. They are nothing but background noise in the symphony of your life. They are a chapter that has closed, and your book continues without them. And as you move forward in silence, remember that silence is not your weakness. It is your power. It is the most profound statement you could ever make, that you are no longer defined by their cruelty, their disrespect, or their attempts to control you. You are defined by your silence, by your strength, and by your unwavering belief in your own worth. When they first disrespected you, they were not just disrespecting you in that moment. They were disrespecting everything you had fought for, everything you had endured, everything you had become. They didn't realize that in their attempts to break you down, they were actually feeding the fire inside you, the fire of self-respect, of self-worth, of a soul too strong to be rattled by their petty cruelties. They thought they could diminish your light, but in doing so, they only made it burn brighter. You see, they never understood that silence is not simply the absence of sound. It is the absence of their control over you. It is the absence of their influence in your life. Silence is your escape from their attempts to manipulate you, to make you conform to their whims, to make you feel small in a world that is large enough for you to take up space. It is the ultimate act of freedom, the freedom to walk away, to disengage, to stop giving your energy to people who will only use it to try and diminish you. Think of it. The loudest thing in the room is often the silence. When people can no longer provoke you, when they can no longer get under your skin, when they realize that no matter how much they shout, how much they insult, how much they manipulate, you will not respond. That silence is deafening, and that silence is your declaration of power. Because it says, I do not need to justify myself to you. I do not need to explain myself to anyone. I know who I am, and I will not let you define me. They believed they could win by making you angry. They believed they could break you down, get you to lash out, to lose control, to show them how much you hurt. But they don't realize that your silence is the strongest response they could have ever received. You didn't give them the satisfaction of seeing you suffer. You didn't give them the pleasure of watching you lose your composure. You took back the power they thought they had over you, and the more they pushed, the more you withdrew. They couldn't handle it, could they? The silence, the way you turned away from them, the way you no longer cared about their approval, their judgment, or their manipulation. That's what hurt them the most. Realizing that you were no longer affected by them. They thought they could control your reactions, but in your silence, they found that they had no control over you at all. In the silence, you become untouchable. You become an enigma, a person who cannot be broken, because they no longer have the ability to wound you with words. They cannot trigger you because they don't know what will make you react anymore. Their insults bounce off of you. Their attacks have no place to land because you are no longer playing their game. You have risen above it, risen above the need to explain yourself, to defend your honor, to get angry. You understand that not every battle is worth fighting, that some fights are simply distractions meant to draw you into their chaos, and you refuse to engage with it. You don't need to. You've grown beyond that, and so you continue forward in silence. They expect you to retaliate, to prove something to them, to show them that you're still capable of fighting. But the truth is, you've already won. You don't need to fight anymore. The mere act of walking away, of not responding, of choosing peace over drama, is the ultimate victory. You are no longer at their mercy, no longer tied to their expectations. Your silence speaks volumes, but it is not for their benefit. It is for you. It is for your peace, your healing, and your evolution. When you stop engaging with their disrespect, something miraculous happens. You begin to heal. You begin to reclaim the parts of yourself that they tried to steal. You reclaim your self-worth, your dignity, your strength. You no longer allow others to define you or make you question your value. You no longer let their negativity invade your space. You become a fortress of peace and self-respect, standing tall in the face of any storm, because you know that nothing they say can touch you unless you allow it to, and you no longer choose to allow it. But they will never understand that. They will never realize the depth of your silence. They will never grasp that your silence is the ultimate act of strength. In their eyes, silence may seem like surrender. It may seem like weakness, but in truth, it is the most powerful tool you possess. It is the tool that allows you to take control of your emotions, to distance yourself from their negativity, and to rise above their attempts to break you. The silence is a gift that you give yourself. It is the space you create to heal from the wounds they inflicted. It is the sanctuary where you can restore your energy, rebuild your confidence, and reclaim your sense of self. The more you choose silence over conflict, the more you reinforce your own boundaries, your own worth. You send a message to the universe, to the people around you, that you are not here to play small. You are not here to engage in their drama, in their games, in their disrespect. You are here to live your life with integrity, with dignity, and with a quiet, unwavering strength that cannot be shaken by the opinions of others. The beauty of silence is that it allows you to take control of your narrative. When they try to make you feel less than, when they try to define you by their own insecurities, your silence becomes your shield. You no longer need to explain yourself. You no longer need to prove anything to them. The fact that you have chosen silence is the most powerful thing you could ever do. It is your final word. It is your way of saying, I don't need your validation. I don't need your approval. I know who I am, and I am enough. And while they may wonder, while they may try to provoke you again and again, they will never understand that in silence, you have found something more powerful than any argument or any confrontation could ever give you. You have found peace. You have found strength. You have found your own voice. And it is not the voice that shouts, that fights, that engages in petty games. It is the voice that stands strong in silence, unshaken by the noise of the world around you. But don't think for a moment that this silence means you are weak. Do not mistake it for submission. It is not weakness to refuse to engage with those who would tear you down. It is not weakness to protect your peace. It is not weakness to distance yourself from toxic people who only seek to drain your energy. In fact, it takes incredible strength to choose silence over conflict, to choose healing over bitterness, to choose peace over chaos. It takes strength to walk away from those who try to hurt you, to let go of the people who would bring you down. And it takes even more strength to hold your head high, to stand tall, to keep moving forward, while they remain stuck in their own drama, their own negativity, and their own need for control. They may never realize the true consequences of disrespecting you. They may never understand that every word, every insult, every attempt to diminish you has only made you stronger. They may continue to wonder why you don't react, why you no longer engage with their games. But that is not for you to answer. That is not for you to explain. The silence speaks for itself. It says everything they need to know, but they will never fully grasp it. They will never understand that in trying to break you, they have only made you unbreakable. And as you continue on your journey, let the silence guide you. Let it be the reminder that you are in control. Let it be the force that keeps you grounded in your truth. Let it be the powerful message that you no longer need to fight for your worth. You have already proven it to yourself. And that, my friends, is the greatest victory of all. In conclusion, when they disrespected you, they thought they were winning. They thought they could break you, diminish you, and make you feel less than. But what they failed to realize is that their disrespect was the catalyst for your transformation. It pushed you into a space of silence, a space where you could reclaim your strength, your peace, and your sense of self. And in that silence, you found your power. And in that power, you have become unstoppable. Let them wonder. Let them question. You no longer need to explain. Your silence is your answer. And in that answer, you have already won.